Okay, I'm going to share a tutorial video on how to solve quadratic equations. We're going to start off with the equation of 3x squared equals 15 minus 18x. So I know it's quadratic because it's got an x squared, and whenever I'm trying to solve a quadratic equation, I want to get it equal to 0. So I noticed that since I have two separate sides, I am going to decide to cancel out one of the sides to get it equal to 0. I like dealing with positive x squared, so I'm going to subtract the 15 and add the 18x. That cancels out this side and this side, but whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other to keep it equal. So I subtract 15 and add 18x to this side. So then I like to organize my quadratic in order from the highest exponent to the lowest. So I have 3x squared plus 18x minus 15 equals 0. So now that I've gotten it equal to 0, I'm going to scan it and look to see if there's any other noticings I have. I notice that these are all multiples of 3. So if I just divide all 3 of these by 3, I'll be dealing with smaller numbers. I'll reduce it. And if I divide this side by 3, I just have to divide the other side by 3 to keep it equal. So I'm going to divide this side by 3 and this side by 3. And that will leave me with x squared plus 6x minus 5 equals 0. So already I feel better because I'm not dealing with as big of numbers. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm either going to factor, complete the square, or use the quadratic formula. Since this is even, I'm going to complete the square because I know that completing the square works every single time. So this is the part of the square I have. If I had an x plus 3 by an x plus 3, that gives me x squared, and then the 3x and the 3x makes 6x. So that's the part of the square I have. What I don't have in the square is a 9, which is the result of multiplying 3 times 3. So what I'm going to do is if I add in a 9 to this equation, x squared plus 6x plus 9, now I'm allowed to write this part as x plus 3 squared. Because x plus 3 times x plus 3 is the same thing as x squared plus 6x plus 9. But I can't just add 9 in. It's no longer equal, so if I add 9 in, I gotta subtract 9 out. So I'm gonna bring down this minus 5, and I'm gonna undo that 9 that I added in by subtracting off a 9. So then I think about what like terms can I combine. Negative 5 minus 9 is negative 14. So x plus 3 squared equals negative 14. By doing this, I've taken two groups of x's down to 1, so I'm just going to undo until I get x by itself. So I undo a minus 14 by adding 14, and now I have x plus 3 squared equals 14. I undo squaring by square rooting, so I square root both sides. So x plus 3 equals the plus or minus square root of 14, and my last step to get x by itself is to subtract 3. So my final answer is x equals the plus or minus square root of 14 minus 3. So I know that if I plugged in this expression into this x and this x, I would get two sides that were equal. Bye.